In this part 2 video of my exterior detailing process from start to finish, we are talking about how to wash a car, and particularly how to wash a car to strip everything off of it because it's going to be polished. What's going on? Glad you are here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a pro detailer or car enthusiast who loves everything auto detailing, then definitely consider subscribing. Now, just like in part 1, I want to give you guys a little bit of context before we actually get into this. Number 1, I am actually preparing this car to be polished. So while I am totally detailing the exterior, I am actually going to be doing a paint correction on it tomorrow. So basically what I'm doing right here in this 4-stage process is showing you guys how I totally clean and protect a car, because I'm not only just washing this car in part 2, but I actually want to strip everything off of the car. I am going to be making kind of my homemade paint strip car soap. I have a video called Supercharge Your Car Soap if you want to check out more about that in detail. I'm not going to be using the 2-bucket method. I'm going to be using kind of a version of the Gary Dean washing method. So here is what I'm going to be mixing in to make my kind of car soap strip. Now, because I'm in the shade and because I'm kind of using a more intense method to strip everything off of this paint, I am going to be washing in the more traditional way. In other words, even though I'm using this Optimum No Rinse rinseless wash as kind of my base soap, I'm not going to be like practically using it as a rinseless wash. I will be using a hose, applying the soap, and then rinsing it off just like I would with anything else. So I'm going to use 1 capful of Optimum No Rinse. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of my Super Clean degreaser, and again, I'm not going to be putting a ton in here, but maybe a little more than you might think, just a little dash like that. I know some of you are like, why would you put so much degreaser? Well, I'm going to be filling this whole 3-gallon bucket up to the top, so it's going to be very diluted, but again, the degreaser is going to act kind of as that like stripping agent. Now next, I'm going to be using a foam cannon soap from Max Shine. It's called Purple Haze Snow, so you can actually put this in a foam cannon, or you can just use it in a bucket in a more traditional way as well. Doesn't really matter. There's a lot of soaps that kind of work like that, and again, I'm not doing exact measurements. I'm just throwing a little bit in there, and I just do that because I like to have some suds to my soap when I do this. Optimum No Rinse doesn't really suds up, and of course the degreaser will to a level, but again, I want to add just a little bit more cleaning, and I like the little suds in there. At least it makes me feel better, a little more OCD when I'm doing this. So now basically what I'm going to be doing is taking 4 different microfiber towels, and I'm going to dip them all into the soap solution, and my hands are going to freeze like crazy because it's like 35 degrees out here. But again, I'm taking all these 4 microfibers, dunking them in there, and what I'm going to do, again, why I said I'm going to be doing a kind of version of the Gary Dean method that's not rinseless necessarily, is when I take them out, they're going to be waterlogged obviously, but I'm going to fold them into 4ths, and I'm going to just run over each panel with one side. When I get done with that panel, flip it to the next side so I have a clean side to address the next one. That way I'm never reintroducing past dirt that I got on the microfiber from another area to the area that I'm cleaning in the present. So that's kind of the idea and the logic behind that. And in an attempt to just minimize scratching at a level, even though I will be polishing this tomorrow again. So I just dunk this in here just like this, get them wet, and I was very right about my hands. Golly, that is cold. Oh my goodness. If you have warm water, I would suggest it. So now very simply, I'm just going to, again, use that Gary Dean method. I'm gonna work from top to bottom. In other words, I'm gonna start with the roof, and then as I go around, again, just addressing the car kind of in layers. Now, one thing I do wanna comment on is, as I'm doing this, it's important to understand, and I say this in a few of my videos, I look at everything in detailing as a sort of funnel, right? I wanna start more general, and then as I continue cleaning, I get more detailed. And so, the reason I say that is because this step of the detailing process, the washing process, this isn't the most detailed thing in the world. So I'm not getting hyper-focused on bugs, on tree sap, on really hard to remove road, grime, grease, dirt, all that stuff. I'm just wanting to lightly remove the surface dirt. I want to get just the general car, the general windows, general black trim, general paint area. And after this, as I move into the decontamination phase, the clay barring phase, all that sort of stuff, that will be much more specific, so don't get too hyper-focused when you're dealing with just the general area. Again, I'm at the top of the funnel right now, and as I work down, I'm gonna get more narrow and more detailed. So this shouldn't take too much time. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, so just finished washing the entire car, which would include everything from the headlights to the paint to the glass to everything in between. Now, here's a couple notes for you real fast. Generally speaking, I would dry the vehicle with some sort of thick, plush drying towel. However, here's a couple variables that kind of change this particular situation. Number one, I'm in the shade. So you guys can see the sun is at the end of the driveway, so the entire driveway I'm working in right now is shaded completely. Number two, it's like 35 degrees outside, and so the water is not like drying quickly whatsoever. And then number three, the specific house I'm at right now does not have super hard water, and so there's not a ton of minerals in the water in the first place that would cause the water spots. So basically what I'm doing here is not worrying about drying it, because part 3 of this playlist is going to be decontamination. And so because I'm about to have to use liquid to decontaminate the paint, I'm not going to dry off the water right now because it would just kind of be creating more work for myself. But I do just want to show you guys, generally speaking, what the paint looks like after using this. Now again, I want to reiterate the reason why I use the degreaser in the soap is because I'm going to be polishing this paint tomorrow, and I want to strip everything off that I can. I will use a paint stripper, but again, this just kind of gets me proactive and starts to take things off the paint before I actually use a chemical like that. So I'll show you the front as well. Again, in this process, you guys saw I wasn't being super detailed, and so I'm gonna come in a little bit later in part 3 of this video, and I'm gonna get into all of these areas, in these tight areas, a little bit more seriously with some brushes, but I'm just not worried about that right now. Right now, I just want to address the general part, the glass, the paint, the headlights, the plastics, the black trim, all that sort of stuff. Now, one other note is that when you do this in like 30-degree weather, 35-degree weather, the water actually turns to ice on the driveway. So you need to be careful because I'm slipping and sliding all around. But there you go. That was my solution. That was the method, the Gary Dean method there, kind of mixed with the traditional method, so I didn't have to use the 2-bucket wash method. And there we go. The paint looks fantastic. So now it's time to move to part 3. So if you guys would like to pick up any of the chemicals or the products that I used in this video, check out the YouTube description box below this video. I always hook up Amazon links to those products and tools so you can get your hands on them. If you use my links, it does give this channel a small commission, but it helps this channel stay alive. And I'm also going to hook up a link to my website, detailingjunk.com, because I have so much auto detailing information there that constantly gets updated and revised, so definitely check that out. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and of course, as always, questions, comments, concerns in the YouTube comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Listen, if you're a car enthusiast or a pro auto detailer that just loves everything auto detailing, then definitely consider subscribing. Once again, thank you guys so much for being involved, and as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.